All right, in today's segment, we're going to be taking a look at how to not be stressed out when trading stocks. And a lot of us get there or have been there or experienced that. And if you're seeing this a lot or frequently, and you're like, hey, man, I feel so emotionally positive this week. Last week I was emotionally stressed, or this week I'm stressed. Last week I wasn't. So we're going to chat a little bit about this, and I'm going to give you kind of a quick insight and tip about how to be a little bit more level-headed and not be stressed out when you're trading. In a lot of the years that I've done coaching and just the things that I've done, I see a lot of people getting into some stressful situations. So one of the simplest ways to kind of correct this problem, again, there might be some other underlying issues and a lot of other things going on beneath the surface, but one of the simplest things for many people, so it may or may not work for you, is to take a look at how much you're trading or the amount you're trading. So what happens is that what we want to be is in the flow channel. So if you go and look up flow channel, this is by Michael Ciscambelli. There's a book by Flow Channel. So here it is, Ciscambelli's Flow Channel. This is the kind of the diagram that he used to explain it. And I think it's a good diagram. I also like this diagram right here. It's a little bit more color coordinated. So I think it's really nice to kind of pinpoint things out. So what happens is when we're looking at trading, what we have is at the bottom, we have the skill set here. And if you have, let's say, a certain skill, again, I'm not saying you have a bad skill or a lot of skill or a little skill. I'm just saying, let's say you have this much skill. But then what you're doing is you're trading something way up here with a high degree of challenge. So now that means could be money, could be, hey, if you're not used to trading $10,000 and now you are, that could be a problem. On the other hand, maybe you're not used to trading $100,000 or $1 million. Whatever the case is, what's happening is that the amount you're trading or what you're doing is stressful for you because you're not in the flow channel. You're not balancing things out with your skill set and what you're doing. Okay, so instead what you need to look at doing is kind of look at where the skill balances the challenge, and then you'll be in the flow. So that's kind of like if you've ever done, tennis or soccer or anything where you're just right in the flow. Well, it's like the day just lines right up, the weather, everything just lines right up. And that's what you're doing. Otherwise, what's going to happen is if you're over here and you're trading too high, you're going to have worry. This is where the sad and the stress comes in, or the anxiety, even stress and alerts. And this is, you got some trouble in certain spots. So just make sure that the skill, depending on your skill set, is not way out of whack or off balance to the challenge. Because if that challenge is just really high up there, you're going to have some problems. On the other hand, if you also are in, hey, I've got some boredom going on, well, maybe you've got a high degree of skill, but the challenge is little. Like, let's say you trade like one share. And this is where, for some people, they actually need to go there. Here, this is a paper account, of course, but just take a look. You've got 500 or 1,000 or 600 shares. But if you're struggling and you're like, hey, you know what, I'm stressed out, we can go in and pull up JP Morgan's, just something I put on my real account today. So we can go and look at just buying, let's say, one share. And if you go and buy one share, it costs you 152 bucks is the stock. So that's the most you could lose. If the stock goes to zero, you lose 152 bucks. So just go to one share. If this is kind of where your zone or area is, it's just like, hey, get the stress out. If you're struggling just to put on a trade, then what you can do is continue to stretch yourself out a little further and further each time. And that's just part of the process. And you might find a comfort zone, and that's kind of your cruise control zone. And that's where you may want to actually be. So anyway, point being is don't over trade in the sense of trading too big, because that's where you can blow your account up. You'll want to be in this flow channel, and that's kind of the ideal situation, because if you're in this flow channel, that's where things really just line up exactly. All right, you want to be in that flow, and that helps keep the stress out of it. If you're like, hey, I've got too many contracts on, you'll have that anxiety and stress coming your way. So again, this is probably the simplest approach to solving the stress problem. But if you're you might also have other underlying issues, but this may or may not work for you, but it's something to keep in mind and keep in check. So if you're stressed, you're probably trading too big for your comfort level or your skill set, and that's okay. There's plenty of levels we hit, because in trading, the levels are unlimited. So you will hit a certain point, whether you're trading, hey, $1,000, $100,000, $1 million, a billion, multiple billions, trillions of dollars, you will hit a stressful point at some point because there is kind of a finite level. Anyway, I hope this helps, makes you think a little bit about how you're positioning and in your account, and that way you can kind of lower those stress levels and live your life a little bit better. Anyways, thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode.